The White House Area Chamber of Commerce meets for a monthly luncheon on the third Tuesday of every month at the banquet room of Colorado Grill in White House. If you would like more information on being a part of the White House Chamber or coming to a monthly luncheon, contact Mandy Christensen by logging on to www.whitehousechamber.org. And now, let's go to the banquet room of Colorado Grill in White House for the August 2021 monthly luncheon and the introduction of today's guest speaker.
This is Noah Freeman with the Blue Devil Network, and today we welcome Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, to the White House Chamber of Commerce.
This time, our good friend Donnie Eden, who is also the sponsor of today's event, is going to come up and introduce the person you guys are all here to see. Give Donnie a round of applause.
She asked me if I would introduce our guest, which, really doesn't need an introduction, but I was lying in bed literally last night thinking about what I want to say. Yes, Mike, I lay in bed sometimes and dream about you. Immediately started going back to me listening to radio, and I still do now, but as a child, Dad, Big Don, he'd make you work on Saturday, right? Well, what do you do when you work? You get up early, you go, and you go till at least the Tennessee game, because they used to not be on the TV. So we would listen to John Ward, and he would paint that picture, left to right on the radio dial, and touchdown Tennessee and whatnot. And this guy, Mike Keith, is that for the new generation, right? So I know you studied under Mr. John Ward, and I know that he affected him like he did all of us. So, Mike, we're super excited to hear what you have to say, and thank you for painting that picture for us each and every game, because raise your hand if you turn the TV down so you can not listen to the stupid commentators on there and listen to Mike Keith. Thank you very much.
It is so good to see you. I can't tell you how glad I am to be back in person. It's been quite a strange little happening, and we're kind of moving in the process of getting everybody ready for the Cardinals. Because the games that count, of the 17 now, are the ones we're certainly most concerned about at this point. But I think we'd all have to say the preseason is off to a good start. We go down to Atlanta. It's a backups against backups game. We win 23-3. We go to Tampa. It's mostly a backups against backups game. We win 34-3. What John Robinson did is he added guys with speed. Danico Autry in the defensive line, Bud Dupree at outside linebacker, Jackrabbit Jenkins in the secondary. If your nickname is Jackrabbit, you can run, right? And then most of our draft was defense. Caleb Farley, probably the fastest guy in the draft. He runs in the 4.2s. Elijah Molden, Rashad Weaver, Monty Rice, all of these guys you've been seeing play defense for us. But I think you can see schematically, with the changes that we've made in our staff, where Shane Bowen is now fully calling the defense, everybody looks like they're on the same page, right? We can rush the passer, we're getting to the quarterback, I'm getting to yell sacked all the time, which is so much fun, because we had the best offense that we've ever had as the Titans last year. Not even close. Not even close in the year Steve McNair won the MVP. We scored 491 points last year. We scored nearly 500 points. We'd only had 2 other years in our history as the Titans that we'd scored over 400 points, let alone scored nearly 500. Crazy, right? And fun. But from a strategic standpoint, let's face it, if you're going to win the AFC in this day and time, who do you have to beat? Patrick Mahomes. You got to beat Kansas City. You can play a great defensive game against Kansas City, and they can still score 30 points because Patrick Mahomes is that great. When he has his real offensive line in front of him, you're not going to hold him to 9 points like Tampa did. Tampa caught him at the right moment with a great defense in their own right, and yet Mahomes was still making plays. You never thought he was out of it till it was over. So you got to be able to score. We had to sacrifice some offense to go get that defensive personnel that we wanted. But we're short a receiver. We know we're short a receiver. It just so happens the Atlanta Falcons have to trade Julio Jones. Julio Jones is the best receiver of his generation. 7 Pro Bowls, all kinds of catches, all kinds of touchdowns. Here's the stat that really stands out. In his career, Julio Jones has averaged 96 yards receiving per game. That is a full 9 yards greater than any other receiver in the history of the game. So John Robinson is sitting on a houseboat in Percy Priest Lake on Saturday night, June the 5th. I don't know if he's grilling hot dogs or tubing, or I have no idea what he's doing. But his phone rings, and it's Terry Fontenot, who's the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons. And Terry Fontenot says, let's get a deal done for Julio Jones. So right there on Percy Priest on a houseboat, we got Julio Jones. That to go with A.J. Brown, to go with Josh Reynolds, to go with Derrick Henry, to go with Ryan Tannehill, to go with this offensive line, to go with Anthony Ferkser, I think we've got a chance to be really good on offense. Now we're better on defense. Looks like we found a kicker in Sam Ficken. If you watched him hit the 58-yarder the other night, we've got the best punter in football. We can run back kicks. We've done it already in the preseason. It's like, this looks like a pretty good team, right? And that's where you start knocking on wood. That's where you start saying things like, well, if everything falls our way, and it's true. You know, that's where you are in the NFL. Can we get there? Yes. Would it be a major upset for us to get there? No. We're in that conversation now. That's where you want to be. When I started coming to the White House chamber nearly 20 years ago, that's where we were. That was the Steve and Eddie days. That was, you know, the exciting times. That's what we're back to right now. Talk about the good old days. These are the good old days for the Tennessee Titans. I want that. I want a parade in February going down Broadway where kids get taken out of school because they want to make sure that they see this.
Thanks for watching this broadcast of the Blue Devil Network. Join us next time at the White House Chamber of Commerce. And remember, log on to whitehousechamber.org for more information.
Hello, this is Justin Ward, and if you want to know more about White House High School, follow us at White House BDP.